Hello, everyone. My name is Emiliano, and I welcome you to OREN Right Now, which stands for Love, Trust, Generosity, and Integrity. And today, our guest is Julian Ducheine. He has been studying Chinese medicine, and he's been on the field of holistic healing for the past 5 years. He's also a successful entrepreneur, and combining his knowledge with experience has been able to create tremendous amounts of energy throughout his day to fulfill everything he needs to do as an entrepreneur and also as a healer. So today, we're going to be discussing the topic of having high physical energy. So I want to welcome you, Julian. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Emiliano. Thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Awesome. I would like to start by asking you, from your personal experience, what's been the best way to keep high levels of energy throughout your days?
Well, it's a various things, right? So I think the most important thing is just having a clear head, right? So if you got a lot of junk in your head, it's very hard to stay focused on what you're doing and present. And that's my biggest struggle. Even though I tend to have more energy, for me, it occurs than an average person. Another thing, obviously, is vitamins and nutrients. You've probably heard, proper sleep. But I think the biggest thing is how you breathe, and which actually helps you have a clear head and breathe. Like, for instance, breathing from the stomach and such. Some other things like just being in motion as much as possible, like taking on a lot of things, constantly moving. The more you do, I believe the more you could take on. Some people have a different concept on energy. They believe they can store it up or relax and they'll have more tomorrow. The body doesn't work like that. I really believe in the concept, body in motion stays in motion. So just be in motion as much as possible. And it's like a habit you build, and you can handle more and do more. Yeah, that's pretty much my outlook on it.
Okay, that's perfect. So why don't you share with us, what does your day look like?
Well, I stay up pretty late, to be honest. I'm managing a lot of things, and my mind tends to be clear at night. I mean, everyone's a little different.
Yeah.
It's just less calls, text messages, things going on at night. So I get more done at night for me. But I would say I wake up around 9, 10 in the morning. I go to bed at sometimes 2 or 3, which isn't the healthiest. It's not the best. But right now with my businesses and stuff, it works for me. I would say my mornings are, I eat breakfast. I eat a relatively light breakfast. I eat a bigger lunch, because when I eat a bigger breakfast, I find that I am sluggish. I want to go back to bed. I'm tired. It kind of kills my energy because my digestive system's working on breaking it down for so many hours. So I think that's the key. I know there's a concept out there where people believe no breakfast is actually good, and a lunch and dinner and such throughout the day. Another thing is when you wake up in the morning. When I wake up in the morning, I tend to yell, and
I yell. You said to yell.
I yell. I believe it just like activates something in the body. Like I do a big, like a yawn, a scream, put my arms out, stretch as big as I can. And then I tend to dance sometimes or put on music and just do funny things and move my body, So it varies for everybody. I know there's a lot of people who do bioenergetic work that believe that concept too, stretching and stuff a little bit in the morning. You want to activate your body, your organs, get the blood pumping. It's kind of like a car, you just don't start your car and just go. You warm it up a little bit, right? So I kind of treat the body like a machine. And so I think the machine to run at its peak performance, best performance, you got to tune it up, you got to warm it up and stuff, and prepare it for, what you're going to take on.
Yeah. No, that's perfect. So could you explain to us a little bit about the breakfast? What are some of the breakfasts you have?
So fruit is big on me. I love papaya, watermelon, especially in the summer. I tend to try and eat with the seasons. Given I have a Chinese background, we're all about, following the Tao, the bigger Tao of energetic stuff, and how the world moves. So the world's constantly changing, planets are moving, things are happening, and you kind of want to change with it, right? You want to be in harmony, so to speak, so that you're not going against, the world, or we call it chi. I always have one banana in the morning, or like a half a banana, a papaya, watermelon cut up. I love eggs. So I have like contradicting beliefs about eggs and how the benefits and stuff, but I usually eat eggs in the morning. But it's a relatively light breakfast, maybe like a handful or two handfuls of food, not like a lot. And then I tend to maybe like once a week, twice a week, I'll have coffee in the morning, a glass of water, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty light.
Okay.
After breakfast, I have an array of stuff I take. I take liquid vitamins. I just really believe in them. I take like a brand called My Kind under my tongue. Like B12 is a big one, obviously for energy. I take. I'll take herbal supplements, various kinds. But I believe you shouldn't take supplements you don't necessarily need. Everyone's different, so you should find out and talk to your local alternative care provider, and figure out like what your body needs. There's different types for different people, right?
Okay.
So for me, B12 though is standard for everybody, given that it helps you metabolize and everything is your energy, and it's so important because you can never have too much of it, given that it's just you're always urinating it out. So and a lack of it is a huge damage to your body, nerves issues. You can, after 6 months of B12 deficiency, you actually have nerve damage. So that right there scared the crap out of me. So ever since, I always make sure I take my B12 and magnesium, for men, zinc. I take something called Husha Wu and cordyceps. They're like mushrooms. So they're known in Chinese medicine to tonify the body, and especially cordyceps is really big on energy, and it's like very subtle. It kind of compounds on itself. Like vitamins, people are like, oh, vitamins don't work for me, right? You could take them for a week and you might not feel a big difference, but if you take it consistently for a month or two, it just starts to compound around the second, third month and you actually do see a benefit. Biggest advice I can give to people, because there's a lot of information out there, right? So you can, is just keep in motion, don't lay around the house so much. Just, even if you stand more, like move more, go for a walk, park your car further, get in the habit of just moving, either whether it's walking, whether it's, jump roping a little bit in the morning, but just get moving, right? So when you sit around, you tend to let the blood sit, and then the blood gets used to sitting, the blood doesn't circulate as well. And this is just all theories based on Chinese medicine. But they tend to work. I mean, I tell people this and they'll notice a difference, a profound difference in their energy levels after about a week or two. So
when they start moving.
Yeah, just moving. Like, when you get home from work, you tend to feel like, I'm tired, I'm gonna rest, right? Don't rest. Go for a walk the dog, just take it easy. But I'm not saying go to the gym and run 2 miles. Don't do that. Don't exhaust yourself. But I'm saying just keep the steady movement, right? Another thing is stress is a big thing, right? So you don't want to overactivate your adrenal glands, like keep it like really hyper all day. So maybe if you're gonna rest, meditation is probably the best, right? Just a quick 20-30 minute meditation and then go again. And doing this throughout the day can actually boost your energy levels dramatically. Specifically around noon and 2, and then again around right before dinner, right?
Before you had all this energy, I'm sure there was a moment where you were tired. What would you say was the first thing you started doing? Was it the nutrition, or was it the just moving yourself, or was it your mindset that you actually want to do it? Like what was the thing?
Like I said, it's so many various things, but if you don't have the mindset first, like you don't feel like doing anything. I've been there where I just want to just lay in bed all day, right? And if you focus on the problems and the circumstances and your concerns, that's exactly what's going to happen, right? So I think the biggest thing is just keeping like your mind focused on obviously what you want, and not so much how you're going to do it and all the struggles and problems that are going to come doing it, and the way you breathe. Like they tell you in yoga all the time, you know, breathe through it. But like actually altering your breathing pattern could make a profound difference as well. And breathing from your stomach, you know, people tend to tell me I could talk for like hours, right? I could talk so much, but it's like I have an endless breath. It's like when you smile too, like when you laugh, you're exhaling for a long period of time. So you're kind of letting loose and you feel different, you feel better. And when you breathe from your stomach, you tend to like go longer. I can't explain, like you talk longer, you have more energy, like you move things longer.
So breathing from the stomach makes you talk for longer or do things with more energy.
It boosts endurance and stamina for sure.
Wow.
And it just gives you like this easy going, like you don't tend to hold on to problems. People who tend to breathe from their chest, they start palpating, they have more anxiety, more, you know, a lot of problems. So I've noticed that too. You can actually physically see them like sitting there and they're just like, oh, my day is so pain. You know, oh, they do this a lot, you know, where you see people that do yoga and tend to be, they're just more like easygoing, right? And they tend to be in a lot of different things and moving all day. But I think the biggest thing is the way you breathe, and how long you hold on to your problems and concerns, because you feel light. When you don't have anything on your mind, you just feel light, right? You feel like you could just do things for hours. Like when you're just like taking on something and you're not thinking about like, yesterday and all these things. And when you think about those things, you feel heavy, you feel like lethargic, you want to lay down and sleep all day. Another thing is not eating such big meals. People tend to, in America, the restaurants oversell you on this big plate of meal. And then you tend to eat it all. And then you feel like, oh, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. Now your stomach is only about this big, you know? So now it's going to take how many hours to digest all that food and time. And and another thing is eating late at night. You know, you'll wake up sluggish, tired, and lethargic a lot of times. And that's not for everybody, because I've heard some people, they don't have that. They could just go all day. And I think it's constitutional. I don't know what it is, but it varies. But most of the time, I think when you eat a big meal at night, you tend to wake up sluggish, tired, and lethargic.
Yeah. That's great. Okay, so just one last thing. Like, I know there's all these energy drinks like coffee or Red Bull, you know, like, what do you do to, like, let's say you're tired, you're in a space of being tired, or you don't want to do something, and you tell yourself, I'm going to do it, but you're still tired about it. Has that happened to you? Like, what do you do? Do you have any ideas or formulas that are healthier than having Red Bull or coffee or stuff like that?
Yes. So there's a breathing technique where you breathe very quickly out your nose for about 15 seconds.
Okay.
It kind of, it's like,
okay,
really hard and fast, right out your nose, and then let out. You do that on and off. It just brings a rush of blood to your head. You feel like really energetic. It's like you just took a shot of, you know, coffee or had an energy drink. That for me helps me. I used to drive a lot in long distances, and I used to feel kind of drowsy at the wheel. I did that within like a minute or two. I'm like, wow, I'm like really alert. I feel like I'm not as tired. So that helps. Sipping on water, but not necessarily chugging a lot of water, but sipping on it. Like, okay, you have a little bit now, in 10 seconds, have a little more, 10 seconds, have a little more.
Right now.
Exactly. Not drinking it all at once. People are like, oh, water's gonna give me energy. I think that can counter, that's not good. When you like just chug water really fast, I think that's bad. It actually doesn't make you, it makes you tired, I think, in my opinion. But that's just my experience. But sipping on it is, your body needs time like a machine. You can't just dump a pile of oil. You know, you slowly add it to the car. You know, gasoline, you know, if you pump it too fast, it shoots back out. So like your body's the same way. You know, just be gentle and do things in increments and gradually, you know. But and I think that's key. It's even the way you eat. You know, they say you should eat 5 meals a day throughout the day, smaller meals, right? So give your time energy time to digest it.
Yeah.
But as far as like when you feel really tired, I think that what's going to make the biggest impact naturally is the breathing.
The breathing. Yeah, and you already said earlier, breathing, yelling, dancing, like all that can also help, I'm sure.
Moving the body,
Moving.
Jim Rohn says this: whatever you don't use, you lose. If you don't use energy, you lose that energy you don't use. So actually, by using more energy, you have your body. It's like working out. You could do more the next day, and then do a little more the next day, and then you tend to need less sleep. You have more energy, and you keep going like this, right?
Awesome.
But as long as you're eating right to maintain that, because if you're not eating right and then you're doing that, you're going to deplete yourself, and then you're going to feel like really sluggish and tired. So as long as you have a good natural, good diet, I think it's going to supplement the energy like progression.
That's great. Well, I think we've covered the topic of having great amount of energy throughout the day. Is there anything else that you would like to add for listeners?
Yeah, just don't let things phase you so much. Like, just things are gonna happen. You're gonna have ups and downs in lives, and I think that's key. Just understanding that and knowing that, all right, this is just something happening right now. It's not necessarily gonna be happening forever. It's just life's always changing.
It's a temporary.
It's temporary.
Yeah.
In the world, everything's always changing, and you see why these people in other countries, indigenous countries, have so much energy all day long. We wouldn't be able to keep up with them, but they're always moving. Just be in motion.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you so much, Julian. And if people want to get in touch with you for anything, like I know you do Chinese medicine, so I'm sure you could give them either check them online, or they could go to where you live. And what would be the best way to get in touch with you?
You can follow me on Juju Global on Instagram.
Okay.
And reach out to me. I'm working in a clinic in Fort Lauderdale. I'm mentoring, supervising master students there. It's a student clinic, and so it's really inexpensive. I have all equipment there. There's other doctors there. It's great. And so there's many ways you can reach me out that way. And yeah.
Perfect. So
I'll put my phone number on the link.
Okay.
And reach me that way too.
I appreciate your time. It was awesome. I'm sure this is going to get to a lot of people and help lots of people. And we'll see you on the next one.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.